The Knight in Shining Armor from The Memoirs of an Olive Tree by E.B. Vargas. Waiting can be hard, especially when what you are waiting for is great. When you wait for your birthday, at least you can mark off the calendar as the day comes closer. But what if you didn't even know when something wonderful was going to happen? That's the hardest kind of waiting. Ollie, the olive tree, was glad a certain young maiden had the patience to wait. He remembers that homecoming day. Let us rejoice and be glad and give him glory, for the wedding of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. Revelation 19:7 NIV. The Jewish wedding, the rapture of the church. She knew he would come.
Dreaming again? You're a fool to waste all your days and nights dreaming for your knight in shining armor, cackled the old hag. Who is this man of your imagination? You were never his. You're mine. My dragon will keep you locked up here where he could never find you.
The hag's daughter joined in on the mockery. Why would anyone want to come for you? Look at you. Your clothes are plain and simple. You're just a country girl. There's nothing special about you. But the young maiden did not heed their taunts. A fire-breathing dragon patrolled the fortress round and round. You see, the hag's daughter was also his daughter. The dragon would allow her to come and go, but never the young maiden. One snort from his nostrils, and the young maiden would have to retreat back into the fortress. And there she stayed, scrubbing the floors, washing and mending their clothes. Yet still she clung to the letter her knight had written to her as closely as she clung to the hope of his return. Mounted on his stallion, vowing his love, the knight had flashed a winning smile with the promise to return for her. The maiden had been just a young girl that day so long ago when he left. But there were dragons to slay, championships to be won, and quests to be had. Would he find out she had been stolen by this dragon and hidden away in this fortress? And so the days and years passed, and so she worked, and so she waited, and so she dreamed. There were days when the hag's taunts wore on her more than usual. Loneliness and discouragement seemed to lurk just around the corner. But she would not let that discouragement come in. Her job was to make herself ready. The maiden had salvaged linen once rejected by the old hag. With the touch of an artist, making a few mends here, adding a touch of embroidery there, she turned simple scraps of material into lovely sheets and pillowcases, tablecloths and napkins, even a wedding gown. All was in preparation for the moment her knight would come for her. Yesterday the miller's son noticed me. I think it's the new ribbon I wore in my hair, the hag's daughter continued as she bit into an apple.
How many times do I need to tell you? If you're going to steal apples, you might as well get the reddest, the hag scolded her daughter. And where's one for me? Give it to me, you good-for-nothing child.
The hag snatched the half-eaten apple out of her daughter's hand. The hag had once been beautiful like her daughter, but the ugliness of her spirit slowly revealed itself in time. And truly her daughter did have the wiles to turn the heads of young men in the village down the way. But she too was very self-centered and conceited. Her laughter was much too loud, and her ways were much too bold. Tomorrow you are to shine the pots and pans, the old hag instructed the maiden. And mend my dress, the red one with the buttons down the front, the daughter demanded. The young maiden would need to get up extra early the next day to add these tasks to her already busy list of chores. But for now it was late. She carefully walked up the aging spiral staircase to her room high in the tower of the fortress. She placed her lamp in the window as she did every night. What if this was the night he would come? Would he find her? Would he know her window? Outside the night was still, all was quiet. Only the sound of the dragon could be heard as he lay snoring. The maiden lay on her bed, breathing deeply, her eyes heavy. And then there was a tap. Her heart jumped. The maiden looked out her window. There he was, truly her knight in shining armor, the same flashing smile, the same sparkle in his eyes. He had returned for her. Like a thief in the night, he had snuck past the dragon, scaled the fortress, and was ready to steal her away. Silently and without hesitation, the young maiden slipped out of bed and knew just what to do. She caught up her bundle of treasures she had prepared and let herself be gathered into his arms. Only the night owl, who knew enough to keep quiet, saw the knight carry the maiden down to his trusty steed. Safe in his arms, the young maiden was spirited away, riding until dawn. Finally, her knight could speak to her. "I've come for you, my sweet maiden. I have never forgotten you. It was necessary I went away for a time, but now we will never need to part." As he spoke, the rising sun began to shine on an olive tree, and next to it was a palace. Oh, how the palace gleamed! "Welcome to the home I have prepared for you, my sweet." The wedding was beautiful, the knight dashing, the maiden radiant. The simple gown she had sewn began to sparkle and glow once brought to the palace and put on. Their joy was made complete as they lived happily ever after. Oh, and the dragon? Don't you know the knight is going to get him the next time he comes? After all, that's what knights in shining armor do. Visit memoirsofAnOliveTree.com. Enjoy the entire series, including easy-to-read explanations for children, lesson plans for teacher, parents, crafts, games, songs, and more.